Hi, I'm Joanne, the Lunchtime Knitter. Welcome to my new channel. Are you feeling a little stressed out like I am with the demands from work and all our everyday responsibilities and kids and school? Everything just seems to be a little too much every now and then. And I know that I have always turned to knitting when things get a little bit stressful. So I thought I would like to go back to a knitting group, but where I live there's no knitting shops that are close by, and on my lunchtime I don't have enough time to go to a group or go anywhere really. So I thought, well, maybe other people have the same issue, and maybe we could do something virtual. So I hope you take this journey with me. I'm gonna come on here every day that I can on my lunchtime, and we can do a little knitting. We can talk about life. We can learn some new things about knitting and crochet. I'll show up every day I can with my crochet hook and yarn, or my knitting needles in my yarn. I think it's going to be a great way to escape. And since I don't have anywhere to go to join a knitting group, maybe we can share comments in the chat about things that you're experiencing and maybe how knitting helps you cope with the stress of everyday life. I think it's just a fun thing to do, and who doesn't like to talk about knitting? I used to go to the knitting shop near me, and I would bring a project and work on a project, and there's always retail therapy when you're at the knitting shop, and you can always buy more yarn and more needles because whoever has enough of that. So today I am casting on just a winter scarf. I'll try to put this pattern on one of the links in the video in the future and see if we can get this done kind of quickly, hopefully. It goes pretty quick. It's only 15 stitches using a really bulky yarn, Lion brand, Thick and Quick. They have a lot of really pretty colors in this. And I've had one of these scarves before that I made, and I loved it. And it's really warm in the winter. Where I live is in New England, and the winters can be pretty cold. This past winter wasn't really cold. But a little bit more about my channel. We will be mostly knitting on my lunchtime. Sometimes it might be, morning. Sometimes it might be evening, depending on when I have time. And, it's nothing fancy. Come as you are with what you have. Come with a project cast on and knit with us, or cast on a project, or just come and chat with us. If you're interested in knitting or learning to knit, or crocheting or learning to crochet, I have a lot of beginner projects that I can share with you, and we can complete them together through the process of this channel. Nothing is ever going to be pretty or fancy. It's we are as we are right now while we're knitting, and we can just make some beautiful things together. Nobody is expected to make a perfect project. I know I certainly am not perfect. No one is. A lot of times I work in the office, so on my lunchtime you might hear my air conditioning in my car, because that's the only place I really have to go when I'm working in the office. Sometimes I do work at home, so we may knit or crochet out on my deck or in my sunroom. Depends really on what the weather's like, and if I have a house full of people at that time, I need it to be kind of quiet so that we can have our own little chat. I think it's going to be a fun journey, and we can all learn some things, and we can all learn how to cope with the stress of everyday life and enjoy our hobby of knitting and crocheting. So hopefully this will be something that will grow, and eventually I'll be able to do them live. I have to have a lot of subscribers to subscribe and like the channel and the videos so that I can actually go live. Right now I can only post videos or shorts, but let's work on this project a little. Cast on 2 more. I'm going to cast on 15 stitches for this one. I don't want it too wide. You can make it as wide as you want, so you just cast on an odd number of stitches. I cast on 15. Whatever cast on method you like is what you should do. I usually do a knit cast on. Some people prefer a long tail cast on. And then the first row is just a knit row, so you're just going to knit. For those that don't know how to knit and want to learn to knit, I am going to post some videos on here that may not be a knitting lunchtime knitter video. I might post some actual how-to videos, how to do the knit stitch, how to cast on, how to do the purl stitch. So to do this project, you just need to know how to knit and how to purl and how to cast on, and then we can teach how to bind off or cast off at the end. It's a pretty simple project. Sometimes it's the most simple projects that provide us with the most therapeutic relief as we're knitting or crocheting, you know, something just basic. Sometimes when I need a little bit of stress relief, I just cast on a hat on circular needles, and I just, you know, do my ribbing, and then I just knit, and sometimes that's really therapeutic. You can just keep going and decompress from whatever you're going through or whatever you're stressed about, or sometimes you're just tired and you just need some quiet space and some quiet time to be with your own thoughts. And when you work a job like I have, I talk to people all day long, and I'm with a lot of people all day, and sometimes it's nice to just be with your own thoughts and not have to talk and not really have to concentrate real hard. You can just knit and kind of decompress from the day. So if the camera shakes a little bit, it's because a lot of times I'm filming in my car, like I said, and you might hear the air conditioning. It's June, and it feels like summertime finally here, and it's very warm. So I have to run the air conditioning, or I probably won't make any sense because it's so hot out. So the second row of this pattern is just, you're going to knit 1, purl 1 to the end. And like I said, it's pretty simple. I like to start making some little projects in the summer. They're great to take with you anywhere. You know, if you're going to the beach or you're going to a picnic. Sometimes I like to knit in the car, obviously if I'm not driving. Some people can't do that. It took me a long time to be able to do that, to be able to knit and still be able to look up and not make myself car sick, but I'm pretty good at it now. I can knit in the car. And a lot of times if I need just a minute away from wherever we are, wherever we're going, just to relax for a couple minutes, it's nice to be able to just come into the car and knit. You know, if I'm going to a sporting event or something like that, it's nice to be able to take a break between the games or whatever and just come into the car and knit for a little bit. Where do you like to knit? Where do you bring your knitting? Just leave me a comment, and you know, we can get the chat started in the comments and see what people are doing, where you like to do your knitting. So the third row of this is just to knit across. I will have to figure out how to keep my camera from shaking while I'm filming this. I may have to get a different setup. sure the videos will improve as time goes on. And then we're on another repeat row where you're just going to knit one and purl one. And I also do some crochet, so we won't leave anybody out. We'll do some crocheting as well. I did make that pocket shawl that was all the rage a couple years ago. That is crochet, and that was a lot of fun to make. I don't have permission to show you how to do that from the designer, so we can't do that on camera, but I do have some other things we can do on the video that are crochet. And like I said, I'm going to start out pretty basic with some beginner things. It's always great to get some projects that are small started in the summertime. So you have maybe some gifts ready. Christmas is only about 6 months away. For people that like to make handmade gifts, that's not all that long, depending on how much time you have to do it. So we're on a knit row. So the front side or the right side is always going to be the knit row, and the reverse side is always going to be the back row. Oops. I think I just did this wrong. Let's see. No, I didn't. Okay, we're good. Sometimes I can talk and chew gum. Sometimes I can't. But, like I said, none of us are perfect. We all just keep going and do our best. That's all we can do. And sometimes the best projects are the ones that aren't absolutely perfect, They were made for someone as a gift, and they were made with love. You know that they were thinking about you when they were making it, and that's really special. So it's starting to form a pattern here, you can see. Really pretty. We'll do a couple more rows, and then that's about all my time I'll have on my lunch today. And I'll stop on tomorrow as well, and we'll continue the scarf. I try to knit every day, even if it's only just for a couple minutes. It just helps. It just relaxes me. Tell me what you like about knitting, and leave me a note in the comments what your favorite thing is. Hopefully we'll start to see some comments and try to keep it positive. I do like to keep everything positive and light, because we're all here, not to have any stress or any drama. So we try to keep it happy.
Incoming call. Pleasant. Press Uconnect phone button to answer.
My daughter's calling me. Okay, so that's our scarf for today. And I think we'll leave it there. I do need to go because I am going to have to go back to work. But it was great knitting with you today, and I hope to see you tomorrow on another episode of the Lunchtime
Phone call completed.
Sorry. I apologize. I'm always getting calls from someone. So that's another episode of the Lunchtime Knitter, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for another episode. And bring your knitting, bring your crochet. Make sure you like and subscribe and share so that we can make this a great channel and a great community. I'll talk to you soon. Happy knitting.